This is Something Like That, and my name is NAV. Welcome to the podcast where we feature all the Malaysian talent, both from events and entertainment scene. Anything to do with music, talking, acting, you name it, we feature them on the show. And this particular guest I have for you today, well, I've known him for a very, very, very long time, and he's from the band that where I could say is in my top 3 list. Yeah, definitely top 3 list, top 2 at least, to be more precise. They've been one of my favorite rocking bands. They've been rocking the stages for a very long time, and these guys are pretty crazy. But of course, I couldn't get the entire team on board for this particular podcast. So what I did is I got one of the guys who's super hyper, super energetic, and super fun to chat with. It's none other than Julio. Julio, my man.
Hi, NAV. Sifu, how are you?
Mana Sifu lah. Sibol lah. How are you doing, laddie?
I am doing fine and well. Every day is a blessing to be alive.
Yeah, that's the thing. But you've been very busy. In fact, it's like not just by music. You've been doing a lot of things. You're an educator.
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're an educator? That's very interesting. And that's
Yes.
a bit surprising at the very same time. Because
Yes.
when they say education, you're not talking about adults. You're talking about the little ones, which is a huge contrast, man. It's a huge contrast from what I've known you for and what you're doing currently, which of course, I know you will be great in whatever you do. So
Thank you.
how's it like, man, handling young adults?
Handling adults.
Way young adults. This is what.
Yeah.
How old I'm talking about here?
Because I teach communication in English, early development and speech and drama. So it's 18 months until secondary school.
Wow.
Yeah, so little children, they come to me. And it's no more, hey, teachers, leave those kids alone.
No.
Now I have to see these kids. I cannot leave them alone.
Oh man! But
Yeah.
but seriously, you teach communication, which means
Yes.
how to speak and
Pronunciation of words and basically how you speak enough in terms of how to bring out yourself in public and to really engage the audience and all that, because it's also, like I always tell the parents, that this will help your child in the long run in terms of work life as well in universities.
This is brilliant, man. This is
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
I've always had this conversation with people out there. You got to start at a very early age when it comes to
Yes.
communication, especially because every time you notice, I mean, you're a working adult, you notice that most of them after college they come out, and that's it. They freeze when it comes to having conversation in public. You can't hold a conversation more than 2 minutes.
Yes.
So there's a lot of difficulties there because they're not so used to it, right?
Yes. Yeah, this is also in terms of like what you said, how you bring your brand as a person. You know, you're going to represent yourself, especially when it comes whether you're competent enough to speak in public and to give the proper information out. And that's why we also have a lot of people, like what you said, that they leave college and the next thing you know, oh well, I studied this course and what am I going to do next?
Yes.
You're so much into the academic that you don't focus on how you are and how you present yourself. So that's what I do with the children as well, to make them come out of their comfort zone and their shell to find their voice.
You're making my life much easier because I too conduct stuff like that in terms of talking in public, public speaking, and so on.
Yeah.
So, and of course, adults is a little different right now because it's like something brand new. But if you're preparing children right now, when it comes to the adult, you make my life much easier to teach.
Yes, because now I know, like when you finish school, you go to Mr. NAV, okay? He'll take you from there.
If they only knew the stuff that we teach. But how is it like for you? Because I know you come from, you're very infused with the different lifestyle, which means you're from the entertainment scene, which is a total chaotic, different kind of ambience environment from there. And then turning out to be someone like, you know, it's a Batman and Bruce Wayne thing going on. It's like it's like how do you handle that, man?
That's the thing. I always get this question, especially from my friends who are some of the audience, the part of the people who were in the audience used to watch Blister. Now they have kids. And now when they see me, the next thing you know, hello, can I speak to Teacher Julio? Are you that Teacher Julio from the band Blister? I said, yes, that's me. Like, how does that work, you know? And then they come and watch me because usually I do trial classes, and then I say, you come to my class, come and see what I do, and then you know. So after the trial class is always, they'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know that this is a totally different person. Yeah, 2 separate lives. So how do I engage in that? Because, you know, I think it comes back to, you know what they say about rockers, right? Rockers, you're forever the eternal teenagers. You're always a kid at heart in some way or another. So you can relate. But I will tell you now, the first thing that made me believe that I can do this is, of course, my brothers when they had children.
Okay.
And then something in me changed. My whole perception of life changed. Because suddenly I have a certain responsibility. I'm the godfather to one of the child. And I have something to to take care of besides myself. So I had to take care of myself first, then I can take care of children. And then from there, I worked in school, and there was kids lining up going to the toilet. And one of them saw me and they said, "Are you low-key?" So I said, "Oh my God." I said, "Yes, I am low-key." And then they looked at me as some kind of superhero cartoon character, and I said, maybe I can make something out of this, And eventually I found out that actually I can really engage with children. Children really resonate with me. And it's just another form of a skill that I begin to love each and every day.
No, but was it difficult? Because, like I said earlier, in terms of the lifestyle or the scene, the industry that we're in, conversation seems to be very different. It's like it's always that foul letters, like "Hey, por ahí, fuck you," like that kind of thing goes on a lot. So then all of a sudden, switching it off and coming back to something like this. Like for me, I know because I was trained in the sense of because being in radio before, it's like you can't use all those words. Your behavior has to be different. It's a different thing. You have a microphone in front of you. So automatically it switches off. But how did that work for you? Because I know you as a person, your personality, personally outside, behind the scene is completely different. So
yes.
how did you, was it difficult for you to handle that?
I think I just got older enough.
Oh, okay.
I tell you, I think what changed because time. I remember when I first got into the school, this was their training. They said, "Okay, Julio, now you got a bunch of 12 kids. Okay, then." They threw me in the class and I had no experience. I got nothing to do. And I was always, "Yeah, motherfucker. And then next thing you know, I have to go and fight. La, 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 la. I'm like, what? I had to do that,
Oh, man.
Instantly, I had to put up this persona. I'm really out of my comfort zone. But then I felt a little bit, like you said, the adult world and the world of a child is a different thing. But I had to force myself to do it. And as time went by, and I realized that the kids found me really entertaining, and they really started to direct their attention towards me and mix around with me, want to ask me anything. And I realized, wow, this is something that I can look to in terms of inspiring, because I love inspiring. Even last time when I was in radio also enough.
Yeah.
Right? The same place where you might see you.
Yes, sir. It was a good place. It was a very good place.
Thank you. I still am very grateful how the classes you gave me. You helped me.
Come on.
So from there, I love giving knowledge about music. And then, I use that as a form also for children, because I just love giving out knowledge in general. And it's nice to see, because they are curious. When they know something new, you must see their face brighten up like, wow, I just learned something like mind-blowing,
Yeah, it kind of motivates you to do more, right?
Yeah, it really pulls you. And you know how when you speak to adults, we are just like, so basically that is how the whole, that's how adults talk. But with children, you are allowed to say like, and then do you know what happened? And I'm like, what? I said, he just disappeared. And you're like, what? No way. That kind of things,
Wow. I wish I was a kid right now, sitting down in one of your classes, man. No, but it is nice, because think about it. It's like, not only you're teaching them, but they're teaching you how to be composed, being more of a gentleman,
yes.
How to tone yourself down in the actual adult world out there.
That is true, definitely. I took a course for speech and drama as well, which is about a year, and I learned a little bit about child psychology. And I realized that because it's all about upbringing, right? The way an adult is psychologically, it affects them from their childhood. So from there, I got to see how a child's behavior is, and then I understood adults more.
Okay.
Because how a child is from childhood, then when I speak to adults nowadays, I understand why you are like that, because it's your upbringing. So it gave me a whole viewpoint of how the world works and how people work in terms of being an individual.
Oh, cool, man. Cool. Because you learn a lot, because I've read a couple of books and all. I haven't really had the chance, because I like I said, in my career, I have had chances to host with children, and that has taught me a lot in terms of handling adults. Kids teach you a lot, especially when it comes to respect. When you start respecting the kids, because you want to set an example, you automatically learn how to respect adults at the very same time.
Yes. And you are teaching these kids, like you said, that giving them examples. So you yourself have to set that example. They are looking at you as a role model. And so in your daily life, you have to walk the talk.
It becomes a habit for you to turn into But the thing is this: the good side is like from that so-called hyper lifestyle of entertainment industry, toning down to a trim and proper gentleman, to be more precise. Okay, right now. But has that had an impact on you being an entertainer? Because in terms of music, once you're so controlled and then letting it out right now on stage, does that have an impact?
A little bit, kind of did, honestly. It did have an impact in my entertainment life, because now I choose my words correctly. I learn to behave properly in public these days. I try. You know.
That's something I got to see, lah. I got to see that.
I mean, rock on stage, during the music, really layan. But in terms of, because how I teach every day, and I see how a child behaves every day, psychology. So when I go on stage, I also now speak certain things on how people should look at life in general, because songs are messages at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I look at people like the Rage Against the Machine and all their songs as well are messages on truth, and that's how I view it these days. But they will get to that later.
Slowly turning to Deepak Chopra lah. Getting that. No, because I was always puzzled. I haven't had a chance to watch you guys perform in a very long time, thanks to the pandemic and so on. So then I saw you. I've been following your life in your social media. You're so active in children, and I've seen the changes that's taken place in you. And I was just curious, like, how I know this fucker on stage. He's a maniac, and how does that change so much? And I really wanted to see the difference in your recent performance at Jama, but unfortunately, unlucky. I was the unlucky one because tickets were sold out. It was a damn good show, I suppose, which we'll talk about that in a bit. And let's get from education, let's get on to your music style right now, music life. Apparently, Blister has had a change of lineup. I've seen a couple of new guys, new faces, this whole thing going on. So please enlighten me, what has happened with Blister?
Okay, so as most of us, or some of you guys know, now Ramon has left the band, not permanently, but he left the country
he was exported to another country.
Exported, yes, in search of freedom. So anyway, you want to see it that way, how people want to interpret it, it's how it is, like in search of freedom. So we already kind of knew that was the way Ramon was going, and he always spoke to the band, and we also agreed that he should do that. And somehow with today's world, digitalized and all the internet and all that, we can still make ways to record. That's the main thing we are focusing on, the recording. So when after Ramon left, the new lineup, Kevin has been in the band since 2017, 2016, I believe.
Okay.
So he's been so far quite a few years already in the band.
He's on the lead, right?
He's on the lead.
Okay.
And then as time went by, pandemic happened. And pandemic happened, everybody knows the story and how a lot of musicians got affected by it. We decided to reassess our goals as a band, and also to formulate how we want to project our songs. Because before this, right now, we were actively playing, and we didn't really have time to sit down and write new songs and reassess our goals. So when pandemic came, a lot of people were wondering like, what's going to happen to the music scene? I remember everybody was going, and then a lot of people were saying like, do online live shows. That's the way to go. It's going to be like this forever from now on. Mm-hmm. We tried doing that, but then somehow, because Blister is about the energy.
Yeah, it would be odd unless you do an unplugged session. Then maybe.
Yes, because so the energy is not only coming out from us, it's coming out from the audience. That's always been like that since day one. So we can't be doing that every time in front of a device. So we said, all right, instead of playing live every time, why don't we sit down and we talk about what we want to do next? And that's where the songwriting process came in throughout the 2 years, and that's why we came up with 3 new songs. We wrote 3 new songs, and we realized that because we got older, a bit more matured lah, so-called, right? So-called
Blister 2.0 lah.
2.0 lah. Okay. And then we said the songs, the styles we started to write also was different, and the things that we are talking about also, the things, the lyrics, in terms of lyrics, is different. It's not the first sign, of course, obviously was kick your ass, but now it's towards life itself and how we see life, and basically speaking the truth on how things are.
Okay.
So I'm very, 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 very interested to release the next few new songs lah. So that's how we planned ourselves in terms of the COVID break. And then when we came out, we said, all right, it's time to reformulate ourselves. Now we have to bring in a second guitar, because the sounds in our head, we are listening to two guitars. One guitar is doing this, one guitar is doing that. So coincidentally, my younger brother's band, Enrico from 3i1E, his guitarist is this year 20 years old.
Okay.
He's a very young boy. But he came to watch us, and he's a very talented young boy. He's very much heavily influenced by Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin.
Nice.
So we thought, okay, that's a good start, because Kevin was heavily influenced by Slash and Joshua is Jimmy Page. So we like that two sounds, you know, and Ramon was influenced both by Jimmy Page and Slash. So we're not trying to make a Ramon, not like people said, we heard talks about, now we need two guitarists to replace Ramon. And it's not about that. It's just that we just found a new way of writing.
Okay.
And that's why we decided to bring in the second guitarist, because we have the songs in our head which requires two guitars and new ways to navigate the chords and the riffs. One person's playing that, one person's playing that. So that's why we brought in Joshua into the band. And for me personally, this is the best sound Blister has ever gotten so far.
Nice.
Yeah. This is definitely the best sound.
I'm looking forward to hear that, man.
Yeah.
Because it is nice to know that you have taken the opportunity for in the past 2 years to actually transit to something else, elevate the style of your music and so on. But how did the chemistry work out? Because Blister, as we all know, has been a childhood band. It's been like a generation band altogether. Like when you said your guitarist was a 20-year-old young boy. I remember the first time I met you, you were a 16-year-old kid.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, that's the first time I said, okay, time has flown pretty fast.
Time has flown. My goodness, I'm not the young guy in the band anymore.
Oh, man. Sad, isn't it? But getting new members to the band, because like I was tracking back it, Blister has been a band that it's more of a family-oriented band at the very start of it. So, and been together for a very long time, character-wise, how you all hung out, the mindset, the wavelength was at a different level. Not anybody can penetrate into that circle of it. But now having new members, how was it like for you guys?
I think it's more of what we thought about is evolution. More of eventually we especially for Blister, we don't stick to one sound. We always knew we had to evolve one way or another. Same just like any other bands, when they release, most bands that we love, they change their sounds every time. Metallica's every album sounds different from the other. Led Zeppelin's first two albums sounds the same, similar. Then the third album and the fourth album came same. So the older you change your sounds. So we were lucky enough that Kevin came in the band. One of the first things that I realized that really at that time when he came in, he was really suiting in the band because he can drink lah.
Okay. That's a magic word lah. Okay.
He loves rock and roll.
Warning to everybody who's listening to this particular podcast: if ever Blister invites you for a drinking session, run for your life. Run in the opposite direction as fast as you can without looking back, because I know this guy. They make fish look bad. They make fish in the water look bad.
Fish in water look bad, yeah. But that is, I don't know people, if you heard that, we're actually very good church-going boys.
Yes. So, they drink from Monday to Saturday, and then Sunday they detox by going to church.
Repent. Sorry. So anyway, that's the first thing I remember when Kevin drank with us, and he's hilarious when he's intoxicated. He's very hilarious. Such a fun time. So we bonded more. Through those fun times, we had more gigs that we had, and realized his humor was also he's hilarious. He's a very funny fellow. So then Joshua came in, and Joshua is actually, I think, one of the students for Kevin. Kevin used to teach him a few things, and Joshua's family is also family oriented. And when Joshua came in, also same. We are very lucky and fortunate because these people have the same wavelength, same mindset, and Joshua wants to learn more, and that gives us even better space to tell him what we need. And then in return, he also shows us what he has as a younger mindset, So that gives us also a fresh input on how we look at things. So, but the main core is always about rock and roll. That's the first thing that we have to maintain. That's why our guitarists are very rock and roll based.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So at least you got that sorted out. So that's the good part of it. And you've written that song. Has it been recorded yet?
Not yet. Now the first one that we're going to release in about a couple of months or 2 or 3. I don't want to say anything, you know.
Okay.
I don't want to say anything to jinx it, but it's Blind Love. It's one of our older songs finally being released. That is, I believe, is part of the catalog from the old set of songs.
Okay.
That one we have Ramon in it, and we have Kevin playing in it as well.
Okay.
And then the next one that we're going to probably release is a song called Space Hit. That is a bit more modern, and so far we've been playing the song live, and everybody has been giving good reviews.
I missed it, man. I missed it.
Never mind, enough. One day you will.
Because like we were talking off air earlier, every time that everybody has a gig, that's the very same time I have my gigs going on. So it's always clashing. In fact, that particular day you had in Jama KL, I was like, okay, I didn't want to book the tickets earlier because I wasn't sure I could make it. Then finally, when I thought to myself, okay, I am going to make it. So went on to social media, tickets sold out.
Yeah, I know.
I waited for that show for 2 years, and finally when it kicked in, it's like sold out. Puto.
That was nice, lah. That was it brought me back to how it was because the crowd really resonated with how the sound was. And a lot of people said that we've been waiting for this for 2 years.
Yeah.
Very positive night, lah. Very positive.
Yeah, because your reputation seems to be leading in almost every single band that I've come across, especially the newer generation of bands. I don't want to mention him. I don't want to make them look like fanboys, but every time it's like, oh, are you? I said, who are the guys do you follow in the local scene? It's like, hey, Blister. Oh, Blister memang rock, bro. Saying the hardcore Blister fans, like, okay. And then everybody's like, okay, this guy Blister, that guy Blister. So your influence that you've had in many of the younger generation, I mean, Euphlas are young, I'm not going to say Euphlas are old, but then again, has impact on the current batch of bands that's been coming out. It's been pretty heavy, man, which is good, which I was very proud of because I know this, like, that's the time I can say, like, hey, I know that band from those days. Like, I can brag a bit. I know that place. I drank with that place before.
Yeah, still friends until today.
Still friends till today. No, but which is good, which is great. And at the very same time, it's good to see you guys performing in shows and all. But also, I was just curious because you're not only performing with Blister, you have your side bands going on, which is the Serani Trio, right? And once in a while I see, I mean, I don't know whether you still do it right now, but previously you were also playing for Musa. You were the bassist for his project. So you place yourself a lot in different scenarios or different settings or different bands, right?
Yes, very true. Because I believe that I shouldn't limit myself in terms of my talents and capabilities. I'm not saying that, I'm a great bassist. No, for me, I want to learn.
Okay.
It's better than to just be playing in one band. And if another band were to call me, like example for Musa, that was great. Musa is also living around here near Rawang.
Okay.
It's actually practically one of the neighbors here. And we've been friends from before. And Musa and my whole brothers, my family and all that are quite close.
Okay.
So when he called in the band, obviously I joined in and I know I'm going to go in there with a different kind of mindset compared to Blister. So when I went in there, I learned as well. And it was very fun. Playing with Musa and the new lineup with Chanel Guerzo and Hafiz and all that, because different kinds of musicians. And then we have the Strang Trio, which later on evolved to Eurasian Trio. Now, the Eurasian Trio is actually an offset, I would say, or a sub band from Blister, because when Blister first started out, during Rockefellers and all that backyard, we used to play covers. 70% of the sets. And then eventually, when we started reading books of our music idols, eventually when they started playing covers, they moved on to writing originals. So when we started writing originals, we said, you know what, it's not that we let me formulate the words properly. It's not that we are saying those cover songs are bad. I love the cover songs. We still love the cover songs, but we wanted something more us, where we are able to express ourselves in our music. So we went full on just originals. That's why nowadays we choose our shows where we can actually play our original songs, strictly originals. So that part of Blister where the covers was, where people used to sing along to us and all the cover parts, we moved it to Serani Trio.
Okay.
So Serani Trio was a band with me, Ramon and Aaron Gideon from Riot Jones lah.
Okay.
So the three of us formed, and it was straight up rock and roll covers lah, heavy, but the how the pop musicians would play the pop music, that kind of rock and roll lah. And then from there, Aaron left, and then Ramon left, and then Chester Zazarias came in, and Emma Santamaria came in, and Eurasian Trio. So now Mario has come in again also as well as Eurasian Quattro. So we play corporate functions, weddings, events. So for me, it's a good exercise and a tribute to play those songs that we used to play.
Okay.
It's healthy. It's a healthy outlet.
But you're not too heavy with that band, right? The Eurasian Trio.
No. That one is more
because I've seen you all perform on the shows and all. So it's more like a party entertaining band.
Yes, party entertaining band.
Nice. And making a comeback right now. I've been asking this question a lot with most of the bands. Pandemic has made a massive change in the industry itself. Everybody's it made the industry a little more competitive right now. Very competitive, because everybody's trying to get back to the scene, and the thing is, in terms of a couple of questions along the line is, one, in terms of the fees, are the bands getting the right fee that they deserve, or it's like everybody's like, hey, we just started kasi chan get a discount? And in terms of reaction, of the audience reaction, is it the same as what it used to be, or people are now holding back a little more? What is it like for you guys? You just had your sessions with Eurasian Trio, you had your Blister performance recently. How is it like for you guys?
In terms of the crowd, it's hold on.
Oh, you got busy kids, right?
Yeah,
See, that's the best part about doing this raw. You get to listen to every conversation. No worries at all, man. There you go. See, we're doing it live right now from his home, so that's the best part. You get to listen to every single conversation. So we might try to find out what he's going to cook for lunch later on.
Okay, settled.
Okay, so where were we? Start the bands. Let's start off with the audience response. After 2 years, how are they reacting? Are they different from what it used to be?
The audience reaction, honestly, judging from the last show that we did with Blister, it came back. For me, it is how it used to be. The audience just want to have a good time and a good show. I believe people nowadays are not so scared of COVID already.
Yeah.
Because
they're just like, fuck it, let's move on.
just move on, just COVID lah.
Kena lah.
I had COVID. I had COVID in February, and I got to experience how it is.
You know the best part now is like when you get COVID, no big deal. If you didn't get COVID, they say, hey, you haven't kena yet. It's like, you haven't kena. It's like, every Tom, Dick and Harry has been asking me, hey, you belum kena lagi ya?
Celaka, wishing curse upon you.
Yeah. It's like, it's odd if you don't get it.
No, it's the other way around, right?
Oh, man.
So the crowd has participated really well so far. We played in weddings with Eurasian Trio and all that, and everybody, just like how it used to be lah.
Okay.
And then in terms of the fee you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for Blister, when we played like recently Rex KL and showcases and all that, for me the fee is no problem.
Okay.
No problem. Okay, because that's a different one. But I'm here also to talk about the places that I play, like in the pubs and also other venues in terms of the weekly kind of shows sometimes that I do. The problem here is, honestly, the musicians agree to a certain amount which is underpaying them.
Oh, okay.
Problem. Because 2 years, so many full-time musicians, they didn't have any kind of, in terms of salary coming in.
Okay.
Income. So they were desperate. Sadly, and I don't blame them at all. But here's what I don't like enough, honestly, is the venues now take advantage of that and
That's
they
the thing.
undercharge. That's the problem there. They do not notice the importance of how these musicians are. It's so funny that when I deal with certain clients and all that, and they come and tell me, oh, can you play this one? And then I'll provide the Eurasian Trio. And then when I mention the supposed price, which was before the pandemic, right? They will say, oh, this is too expensive. But you guys can pay for everything, do everything,
Exactly.
do everywhere. But when it comes to the main part of the night, which is the entertainment, the main part, you guys don't want to pay the right price. So that's the problem there. So I believe there's two sides here. The musicians must stand their ground in terms of what they should be paid, what they should get paid, and also the people who are calling them, the clients that are calling them, should pay the musicians the right amount. Because why? Because that is the ethical way to go. It is the right thing. Simple as that.
It's you got to look long term, because if you start giving in low right now, that's going to be an issue for you in the next couple of months or couple of years. People are
course,
going to
huh?
get too comfortable with that. But I've also seen an alternative that's been taking place lately, which is ticket sales.
Yes.
Most of the time, like when you go to clubs and pubs and so on, event venues, the establishment pays the band directly, and patrons don't have to pay anything in most cases, right? So lately, it has been more of ticket sales. Like you want to watch a band, you want to watch a show, you pay for the tickets, which personally I find it okay. It's reasonable, but then again, some people where I was talking to some of the customers, they had this question of, okay, now if I got to buy a ticket to watch the band, the same time I just want to go have a drink, so I got to pay for the band, I got to pay for the drinks. It's like, would that be taxing for future customers? Is this going to be a trend for a long-term basis?
That depends on, this is a very good question, because that depends on which venue will apply this method at the end of the day, and this is all the preference and also the fan loyalty of the customer that comes in. Because even we had the same thing also when we played in Jama recently. There were some people who didn't know there were the Blister shows going up there. And then they came up and they said the same thing enough. They said, oh, but I just want to have a beer, so I have to pay this, But that's how it is. It is an event. It is a showcase. You come here to watch the show. And the bands got a guarantee that they are going to give a bloody good show at the end.
Okay.
Regardless of the genre. You just cannot, ignore the fact that there will be new customers coming in. So you got to show them.
You can't take it for granted.
You can't take it for granted. So at the end of the day, they pay that amount, you give them a show.
Okay.
Yeah, give them a show that you don't forget.
Because there's been a lot. I've just noticed, like I get messages all the time. It's like showcase here, showcase there.
Yeah.
It's like pretty much if I want to attend all my friends' show, I think I need 2 part-time jobs, basically, to pay for all the tickets. One weekend I might have 10 friends say, Machan, make sure you come. Make sure you come. It's like, oh fuck, that's it, man.
Wallet.
My wallet. I can see butterflies coming out of my wallet already. I'll be happy, but I'll love to pay for it. I mean, it's worth it because I know the performers. It's worth paying every single cent. It's like that because I was just curious, like. Now I understand. Yeah, everybody's just coming out of the pandemic, so-called lockdown period. It's just kickstarting everything, so you're paying for it. But would this be the case on a long run? Would establishments be comfortable by selling tickets instead of paying band or hiring bands to their venues? That is my question. Do you think? I mean, your take, your personal view on that.
My personal view, I believe it is. It's okay actually. It's all right because at the end of the day, you have to pay a ticket to go watch a band show, and you're supporting your local music acts at the end of the day. So it should be in long term, but depending on the venues as well and what type of band you are at the end of the day. Okay, it depends on, like I said, if it's a showcase, then go ahead. If it's going to be a one-off band showcase where they're playing original music and you're paying to go inside to watch the band, then I believe that's how it should be because you are paying to come and see a showcase.
No, but that is for a showcase purpose. But you see, you've been in the entertainment night scene for a very long time. There's also establishments that actually pay bands to perform. Right? It is their routine. It's part and parcel of the SOP of running
things.
Yeah, they're running an SOP. So now you see, by doing showcases, would that jeopardize that trend of entertainment? You see, like for example, if I had establishment A going on right now, where I have to hire a band 3 times a week, I pay X amount. The band has a fixed income going on there.
Yes.
So I don't have to worry about ticket sales or whatever. My job is to entertain the bands, entertain the customers, and I get paid for that. My band members get paid for that. There's a fixed income going on. But the trend of ticket sales that's taking place right now, would the establishment think like, okay, why do I need to pay the band? All I need to do is find out which band would like to do a showcase and have it on a regular basis going on. And the people who don't do showcases, who rely on regular income from these establishments, wouldn't it affect them?
Yes, definitely. Now I finally understand the question. Yes, it definitely does because weekly pub musicians, especially like what you said, the one that play 3 times in a week and all that, because they all depend on bar sales. At the end of the day, right? And you come in there, you watch weekly bands, and they get a certain percentage of amount, either bar sales or the venue itself will provide a certain amount. So it will be much more convenient for the venues to actually pay that fixed amount still, depending on the band. It's much easier that way instead of going to the show and not thinking like, if I'm only earning based on my weekly shows. I won't know what I'm going to get tonight. At the end of the day, at least there's a fixed income there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much better and much more secure. So yeah, I believe that should still be maintained.
Yeah, because I'm not a musician myself, but I was just curious about this part of it. The trend seems to be getting heavier and heavier by the week. Showcases after showcases, ticket sales after ticket sales. So it's like, okay, if this is the case, what about the guys who don't sell tickets?
Yeah,
it's like, really, well, what's going to happen to them?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So it all depends on how the clients work together with the musicians, like what deal that they make at the end of the day. So the musicians have to be very careful on where they are choosing.
Yeah.
Just because we didn't get to play for so long doesn't mean we have to just rush into everything and just agree. You have to see what secures you as in terms of income.
Because I foresee trouble in the next maybe a year or two when everybody's comfortable with the showcase thingy. The musicians are going to have an issue because because remember, like once upon a time, I can talk about DJs for one season and before. Last time DJs were hired, okay, you work in one club for 30 days in a month, and that's it. You get a fixed salary, you move on, okay? And then slowly that changed where DJs had to work on 3 different locations in 1 week. One day he's playing in this club, next minute he's playing in another club, different incomes. And then they had to start doing their own marketing and promotions to bring in customers. You get what I mean, right? So it's like, okay, if you want to play in my club, how many people are you going to bring in? You have a guest list. So then only you be allowed to play. And so it's like, I'm just supposed to play music. Why am I doing all that PR and marketing shit?
Yes.
So is that happening for the band? That's what I'm worried about. That might take place with the bands,
Actually enough, honestly, when I played in the clubs and all that, and the bars with other bands, before COVID already had this pattern. They already had this pattern where how many people you're bringing, what kind of marketing you are going to do, and the worst part is, you have to do your own sound system. I'm like, what? So that's when the venues are making it wrong, and then somehow it's like a disease. It spreads.
Yeah.
One venue do this. Oh, that venue doing that. Okay, we also can do that. So when I started to go around, I remember I was playing in two bars in Changkat, and I can't mention names lah. I'll get sued lah. So so I went there, and I remember with Ramon at the time, and I was like putting up my bass, and I said, "Where's the sound guy?" Then we like looking around, where is it? Then we went to the management, said, "Oh no, you guys got to do your own sound." I'm like, what? We are the musicians. We're just supposed to play. We're not the sound guys. And then we had some other musicians coming in. Oh, this is the way to go now. You should do your own sound. Which I agree. You have your own skills of doing sound system. So if I'm going to do sound system, why not pay me for doing sound system also?
Yeah.
But they don't want to do that. So that's the problem. So before COVID already, we had this kind of nonsense.
Because I understand the sound guy part, because most bands have their own sound person.
Yes.
Because they know the style of instead of relying on the venue sound. That's exceptional because they charge the fee inclusive of the sound engineer who's going to be doing the soundboard. But these days, I don't know, man, the trend of how things are changing. Maybe one of these days I got to get one of the venue owners to find out what's on their mind.
Yes.
I got to find one of those guys and come on board to see what's on their mind on this part. But is it good or is it bad? Is it a yes thing or a no thing, having showcases? And the showcases is nice.
It's a social study.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand what's
I'm just curious. Because I've been every weekday, seriously, almost every day I get messages going on my social media, WhatsApp, shows going on, this is the fee, which is fair, fine. Everybody needs to hustle. Everybody needs to cari makan lah. But are we taking away the responsibility of the venues for paying the bands? That's the thing, which I don't know, is it a good thing or a bad thing? That's a big question mark there now.
Yeah, it's people are trying to budget so much at the beginning to undercut.
Yes.
The main highlight of the show.
Yeah, because think about it, okay? First, it was the fee. How much do you pay bands? I mean, how much you are willing to pay a band to perform at your location? And now bands are paying for themselves, basically self-funded to perform.
Yes. Betul.
I sell tickets, you come and check me out. Okay, I'm self-funding the whole thing. And that could technically lead to undercutting or price slash.
Very true.
My price is only 20 ringgit my show. Or else I don't pay tickets. You don't have to buy tickets. You just pay tips enough. I'd be happy doing that.
Oh, man.
That will kill the market or the industry in a way. Technically, that's my take on this whole thing. Hopefully, it doesn't work, man.
Hopefully, I hope so too. Like it doesn't turn out that way. You mentioned just now. I wanted to know you used to DJ right around. You said
Yeah.
30 days, right? You said it's just one venue. Is it
One venue.
Wow, it was like that. So you didn't have to go out anywhere else.
I don't have to go anywhere. So I got a fixed contract for 6 years. 6 months to 1 year at one particular location.
Okay.
My favorite was still Star Cruises, man. DJing in Star Cruises. 6 months of vacation.
On Star Cruiser, that is
Yeah.
amazing. Whoa.
6 months of vacation. Got sick and tired of it.
Got sick and tired of vacation.
Too much of it. Yeah.
Very nice.
So that was the trend back in the day. If you're a resident DJ, that's it. You're in one club for the entire year. Some of them went on for 5 years in one venue.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but the only thing is you get too comfortable, you get bored. It becomes monotonous on a daily basis.
Of course.
Yeah,
So you did the whole thing from one place, then you went to that place, and then
Yeah,
everybody was
I wasn't actually fully keen into the DJing world. I just wanted to have a feel of what it was like. I wasn't all in
Good
into
time.
that. So I just want to have the feel like, what the fuck is all this DJing thing about? La? It's like, okay, blowjobs and concert and the DJ consoles and raid drinks, those kind of things. I just want to see whether that's true or not. La. So I just went on.
Nice,
Okay, la.
nice.
So far so good. La.
So far so good. You're a legend already. Lah.
No lah. I'm just having fun, man. I'm enjoying because the best part about this industry, I mean, people like us, we know that you get to meet a lot of people. The PR part of it, you improve a lot. Networking is great. I mean, you would agree with me in that part.
Yeah,
On a
yeah.
daily basis, you see different people in different walks of life. So
Lovely.
I would say this is one of the best jobs on earth, right?
It definitely is. Because the people that day I did a poll on my Instagram. I like to ask social questions these days, and in terms of the construct of what people think in terms of jobs. So I put these days. I said, do you consider a 9 to 5 job still considered a real job, or do you think it doesn't matter as long as it brings in the salary? And majority of people voted it doesn't matter as long as a job is a job. If it brings you money, it brings you money at the end of the day. So in terms of networking, like you said, meeting other people is a lovely job. It's a lovely way of life and lovely field. Meeting different people, creating contacts. You don't have to follow the strict 9 to 5 thing that's going on.
Yeah.
You have freedom to do your craft. It's
Exactly.
amazing. Yeah.
And in back in the days where people used to say, oh, you got to have a 9 to 5 job, is security, is long-term purpose. Nowadays, there's no such thing as that. Even if you have a 9 to 5 job, you can get sacked in the next 6 months.
Yes. I think COVID taught people that also.
Yeah, it's like I had friends who's like, no, dude, you got to have permanent job, man. You got to have EPF and all this kind of shit. That's long-term purpose, security. And they've been jobless for 2 years.
There we go.
They got kicked out. So it didn't make any difference.
It didn't make any difference. You see, life is
Yeah.
so uncertain.
And in terms of salary, I mean, sometimes the jobs that you least expect are the ones making good money. I was talking to a Grab rider. He makes at least about 6 to 10 grand a month. That's how exactly. He said he quit his day job just to focus on that fully.
Well done. He beat the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what the fuck? All these years, people spend 30 or 40,000 in colleges, or maybe 100,000 in colleges, and this guy just rides a bike and he makes that much money.
Well done. Save
Yeah.
costs also.
Yeah, it changed. A pandemic taught us a lot, man. It taught us a lot. You got to see the world in a different perspective altogether.
Yes. It gave a lot of people a different sort of clarity.
Exactly.
How reality is.
I think that's what we need once in a while in life, man. You need the break.
You
We've
need
been
that
so
break.
busy in the rat race. We don't take the time off to reevaluate what we're doing.
Yes, I agree enough because in terms of that, you need to actually have a conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
Talk to yourself and have a recap with yourself and say, okay, what did I do today? What did I do? Did I progress? Did I become better than how I was yesterday? And in terms of that, and that is what Blister is also doing in terms of music. It gives a lot of people clarity. You need to work on yourself. If you want to change the world, right, you have to change yourself first.
Man in the mirror. lah.
In the man mirror. Yes.
Yeah, that's.
Mona.
I wish I could sing, but I suck at it, so I'm not going to do that. but it's good. It's good to see that the so-called break timeout that took place recently has helped you guys in terms of your music and band and restructuring it, taking it to the next level. Blister 2.0. That's like how I like to call it. Which I'm looking forward to see the results in the next couple of months with a brand new track, 3 tracks.
3 tracks. No, actually, Blind Love is coming out, and then 3 other tracks.
Oh,
So
four.
it's, four.
Good,
but
man.
I'm looking at the mechanisms of how Blister works. Probably one song a year. lah.
Yeah, like getting a song, the original song from Blister is like winning the Magnum 40. You just don't know when. Like, there's one lucky day. Oh, first prize. Okay, I got it.
I got it. Whoa, it's out.
That's how it is with you guys, man. Knowing you all for almost 15 years or plus. It's like that's how it's been. It's like, okay, when music coming out, new music coming. Then all of a sudden, hey, we got new song.
Yeah. Actually, that's why we need to build our own studio to record our own stuff. That's the goal. So we'll be quicker that way, because a lot of producers are also very busy with other projects, and it takes time.
But a lot of DIY studios has been taking place lately. A lot of them started having their self-built studios at home or wherever they are, which is great. People have learned to embrace the technology on their own way.
Independent. That's the way to go. I think the band The Darkness also, their latest album, they went to the guitarist's house and recorded everything in the house. That's it.
Done. I think if we know the technology well, anywhere it would be fine, man.
Yeah. Very
Good,
true.
man. Good. Julio, it's been a pleasure chatting with you, man. It's good to have a chat with you after such a long time. Hopefully, we get to go for some drinking session, which I know I'm taking a risk, but we should. It's been a very long time, man.
I should just come and just crash your house enough.
Come, man. It's always open. Come in, crash down here. Can have a little party down here, man.
Nice.
You're most welcome at all times.
Wonderful.
And congratulations in your new phase, a new, how do I put this, alter ego, or your avatar, your new...
The rebirth.
So
yes.
now currently you have a split personality.
Yes, I do.
So do you have different names that go along with this personality?
No, it's either Julio or Jubes Blister, and then when I'm teacher Julio, it's just teacher Julio or Sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir Julio sounds right, but right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you so much. Don't forget to follow Julio on his social media. Remember, if you feel like listening to Deepak Chopra, forget it. Listen to Julio Chopra. Anyway. I'll post all the links about Blister, the new band. If you haven't seen the new faces, I got a couple of pictures of it, which I'll share on the website links, and also some of the previous materials. One of the concerts shows that they did last year, which was shot by Lucian, I guess. That was supposed to be shared. I was just waiting for the right time to share that. I'll share that too, and be on the lookout for their next show. I believe there's one coming up in July, right?
July 10th in Desaru Hard Rock, Johor.
Oh, that's nice. There's a nice one, man. There's a nice one.
Festival.
Nice one. So I'll get the details ready, figure out the details on that part and share it with you. So Julio, once again, thank you so much for joining in the podcast, man. It's always a pleasure having you on board.
Likewise, man. Likewise. Always. Every time I leave a conversation with you, I gain more wisdom.
Oh. Feel like you're down right now.
now you are NAV Chopra.
All right, dude. Take care, man. Have a good day.